Well, welcome. Electric Avenue update. I don't know. Is this like 22 or something? For somebody who is pretty uncomfortable on camera, I feel like I've been thrown into having to be comfortable on camera. So I hope that many of you who are watching these can sort of sympathize with my uncomfortable nature doing this. But I don't know. People say, well, it's informative and we like your personality and whatever. So I just keep doing it because I think it's a way of reaching out to people who might not otherwise be able to come to the store. So we're heading into Christmas holiday season 2020. We are about halfway in a lull between Record Store Day Drop 3 and Black Friday Record Store Day. The Record Store Day drops were very successful. So thank you all for your support and validation of that means so much to us in a year like this. So we're going to probably be doing the Black Friday the same way as we've done the previous ones. However, if you've been watching these, you know that we do an email system and we've been doing curbside delivery for this. You'll get an assigned time to come and put in a request for what you're looking for that day. So I'll give more information on this on the next video, but be aware that you're going to be sending your emails this time, not the day before, because usually they were Saturday drops with a Friday noon email for us. This time they're going to be a Friday, Black Friday, Record Store Day, and it's going to be Wednesday at noon, 2 days prior, because I don't want to spend my Thanksgiving afternoon trying to sort out a bunch of emails to give people times and such. That being said, we'll still be checking the emails to see if some come in on Thursday. And it's not like we're necessarily spending Thanksgiving with family and friends or anything like that. It's just, we sort of need a day to prepare, I guess, as most people do. So, and it'd be kind of nice to relax for a day. It's been a really weird time. We see like a lot of the cases are on the rise in the state. We've still been social distancing a lot here at the store. Still, mask wearing is necessary and required, and we still do hand sanitizer and. I've been wearing gloves, especially during the events. So we're trying to be as safe as possible, and I knock on wood. I think that there haven't been any cases that our store has been responsible for. So I feel that's a success at this point. But it is a concern, and there's a lot of people out there. I'm hearing stories of a friend of a friend, or even like I was in your store like. Oh, I haven't been in for over 2 weeks, thank God. I think I have it now. These kinds of things. So, just keep being vigilant. That's all I gotta say. Now is not the time to take your hands off the wheel. This is like, we've been dealing with this for months and months now. So, that would be kind of a shame to kind of like let things go. But I know that there are people out there, people that I know who have had COVID, and some have had it much worse than others. It just really is a crapshoot. So that being said, let's get to the music because that's the fun stuff, right? So there's been a lot of stuff that's come out. And again, I want to say, if you're considering like your Christmas holiday shopping stuff, try and do it early this year if you can. And I know that like online is pushing a lot for that. We do have a way to kind of see most of what our new vinyl is. So if you go on the Facebook page for the store and you look for the Shop Now button and click that, that will take you to our Discogs page. Most new albums that are in the store will be listed there. There are a few things that are new releases that I'll show in this video that may not be there yet. I try to kind of let the people who are in the store tend to get first crack at some of that stuff. But anyway, if you have any questions about that, please feel free to send a message to the Facebook page. If you're not on Facebook, send us an email, Electric Avenue Music WC@gmail.com. I know that's long. Electric Avenue Music WC@gmail.com. And I'll try to answer those as soon as I can. We can also do orders over the phone for curbside delivery if you want to do that. I mean, the only things that are going to be difficult are going to be used because we don't have those things on file as of yet. There's just so many. It would just be a very long and arduous task to do that. So, any questions, you can just run them by me and we can take care of that. So I think onto the music, right? So let me just show you some of the new things that have come out in the last couple of weeks. They may be of interest. Some of them I've posted pictures online for. So one thing that I think is great is the new Wilco Summer Teeth box set. I think that this is probably one of my favorite albums of theirs, and it's the one that came between Being There and then when they sort of hit it big again with Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. But there's some live stuff, a bunch of demos on here, and the CD box is different than the vinyl. It's got different live shows, so a longer show. But anyway, it's a very cool set, and might be a nice holiday gift. I love the shiny cover too. I think they did a great job on that. I'm going to put that up on the wall so you're not looking at a blank hole there. All right, next big thing that came out this week, probably of note, is the new AC/DC Power Up. Also came with this funny little CD box that looks like a guitar amp that you can plug in and it lights up. So that's kind of more of a collector's thing. But the album itself, getting great reviews, and it's been a long time since Black Ice came out, so you never know when it's going to be the last AC/DC album, but if this is the last, they're going out on a high note. Another box set that I probably should mention is the Elton John Jewel box. This is the CD version. You can see there's 8 discs there. It's a ton of like rarities, demos, B-sides, sort of an exhaustive exploration of Elton's artistic process aside from like a greatest hits album. So there's some stuff in here that I think might be familiar and a lot that's not. The vinyl is kind of confusing because they broke it up into 3 vinyl sets. So it's kind of like you may want to look online and do some research about which one you might want if that's something that interests you. We've had a bunch of record store day type things coming with Rocktober this year. I probably mentioned before, Rocktober is a series that Rhino has been doing. This year we got Emmylou Harris's great Wrecking Ball album, probably one of my favorites of hers. It was also co-produced or produced by Daniel Lanois, who works with U2, Peter Gabriel a lot. Also, there's some liner notes by Gillian Welch in there. Another really great thing that they put out, again, was the Crow soundtrack. If you didn't get this on Record Store Day a couple of years ago, now's your chance, and don't sleep on it because these are limited, and we don't know how many more, if any more, they're going to make. So anyway, this has a lot of really great 90s alt-rock stuff that wasn't on albums by The Cure, Stone Temple Pilots, Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Rollins Band, Helmet, Pantera, Mary Chain and Jane Siberry, etc., etc. Great soundtrack. Another album that's just been reissued, Stone Temple Pilots, speaking of, Core has come out as a single album. It was out in a box set a couple years ago, and now you can get it by itself. And on the grunge, 90s grunge tip, continuing, Alice in Chains Facelift. This album was practically impossible to find on vinyl for the longest time, and it is out again. I don't know, again, These things, I'm saying supplies are basically limited because with Christmas coming, manufacturers have probably made most of what they're going to make that they anticipated to sell. And with more people at home buying vinyl, these things are going to go fast. So if you have interest, don't wait. Grateful Dead, American Beauty. This is the picture disc version. Rhino did this. This is limited to 15,000. I've already sold a few of them. So there's also, there's a double CD out that has some concert material. They did the same thing for Working Man's Dead earlier this year. So you may want to kind of, if you're a Grateful Dead person, you might want to get those. Also, not Rocktober stuff. I don't think the Grateful Dead was either. But one of my favorite bands of the 70s, mostly, Kraftwerk, they did a series of vinyl reissues recently for these. I think in other countries, possibly Canada, these were Record Store Day somehow related. But anyway, they're all the 2009 remasters, which were, in most people's estimation online, they say that they sound better than the 2014 ones because they were less compressed and there was less tinkering going on with trying to change the sound. So they're probably more true to the originals. And the original artwork, you say, well, but that's not the original cover. The original artwork is inside, and they have these great sort of like fan-out sleeves that have a lot of pictures and stuff. And they're all on colored vinyl. So I believe this one is blue. I'm not sure. You got Man Machine, which I'm pretty sure is red. Computer World, you can guess, is yellow. Technopop, which was called Electric Cafe originally. This is, I think, a white maybe, or a clear, and then Radioactivity. There's a couple others. But don't wait on those because those are also very limited. I don't know if I'll be able to get them again. And people were waiting around for them for a long time. So anyway, David Bowie, the Metrobolist. This is basically the man who sold the world. Now, if you see this cover and you're in America, you go, oh yeah, I remember this record. It was basically the bootleg cover that came out in the US before RCA kind of got their hands on it. And they've sort of updated the cover art by filling in the talk bubble and putting a title on it. Actually, the big thing about this is that Tony Visconti, who originally produced it and played bass on it, did the remastering and a remix as well. So he brought out some things that maybe were sort of lost in the original mix. So that's very cool. New Elvis Costello album, Hey Clockface. Elvis kind of goes all over the place on this one. It's an unexpected kind of record. Some of the classic sort of like crooning mixed with rock stuff, mixed with spoken word. I mean, it's really an eclectic record, but shows how he's so fearless to keep experimenting as he sort of, he was dealing with a cancer diagnosis at the same time, and it's an interesting record. One for the times. Neil Young. This is him with Crazy Horse, Return to Greendale. It's a live record. A lot of people said the Greendale stuff was better live than the studio album, so this might be something to consider for Neil Young fans. It looks like his second archives mostly won't be available to people until the spring, unless you happen to be one of those lucky 3,000 that got a CD box set online for like the 2 hours that it was listed. Or crazy. A couple Peter Gabriel live records. Secret World, which was from the early 90s, is a fantastic tour. Great album. Songs like Come Talk to Me, Blood of Eden, that sort of era. And then a little earlier, Live 1987 in Athens, and I'm not sure this ever came out on CD or vinyl prior to this. Um, this would have been the tour that would have been for the So album. So if you really liked that, it has things like Don't Give Up, Sledgehammer, In Your Eyes. Still has Biko, Mercy Street. Yeah, so Shock the Monkey, great stuff. Speaking of reissues, I don't know how many people are familiar with this guy, but he's one of my favorites. This is Neil Hannon and the Divine Comedy. He recently reissued 9 albums, all at the same time, from his extensive catalog, and they all have download cards with a ton of bonus material too. But he's sort of like the more underground in America version of like a Pulp or a Blur. He's kind of like, I don't know, more of like a, what do they call him? Like a chanson type singer or whatever at times. And then some of his stuff is more sort of like British rock. But great singer-songwriter. I can't recommend him enough. I think I've shown this before. Probably one of my favorite XTC albums. Finally gets a vinyl release, a wide one. It sounds awesome. None Such. Again, peak XTC. Betty Davis, well, she was a 70s soul, funk, R&B icon. This one, They Say I'm Different, has just been reissued. And I think these are on, that's on red vinyl. And then her self-titled also. Some great outfits. Self-titled blue vinyl. Nothing. Changing gears here. Philly band. Kind of like alternative rock. A little bit, not shoegaze, I guess, possibly. But they sort of cross a lot of different genres. They've got a track on here called Bernie Sanders. For those people. Anyway, it's called The Great Dismal. And then another sort of noise rock band called Hum. You may remember an album from the 90s called You'd Prefer an Astronaut. I don't think they've had an album for about 22 years. So again, back to that sort of alternative rock thing. A new album by the Cribs, British brothers. They've worked with people like Johnny Marr in the past. New Eels album. Gosh, he's been at it for decades now too. New Aesop Rock, if you're into that kind of alternative hip-hop sort of stuff. New Mr. Bungle record, Mike Patton still involved, and Scott Ian of Anthrax is now part of this. Mr. Bungle always brings the unexpected and sort of insane. Gwar, can I show this cover? Scumdogs of the Universe. Sort of a rock and roll classic, I suppose, for people who are Gwar fans. Cranberries. This has been out before, but Island Records finally did this officially, and there's bonus tracks on this, including their cover of The Carpenters' They Long to Be Close to You. Menzingers got a new, this acoustic live record from Exile. I think it's only on vinyl, so don't look for it on CD. And finally, Brandi Carlile reissue of The Firewatcher's Daughter. I don't know how limited these are, but they're on white vinyl. So if you're a Brandi fan, time to pounce on that. Okay, that's pretty much all I had to show today. And I sort of went through my thoughts of pandemic and such. So it's getting long. I just wanted you guys to know how much I appreciate everything that you're doing for us. It's been kind of a rough week. We had a close friend who sort of suddenly passed away at a fairly young age, and there's just a lot of things going on. So just got to stay safe, stay healthy. Everybody, as much as possible, get through the holiday season. Once we get to January, things can sort of settle down a little bit, I think, for a while. We're not going to have to worry about any more sort of record store day type things until April at this point, which is closer than last April was, but we'll see how it goes. So thank you again. Have a great day.